my Flagstaff home. It's Jennifer. Today I am driving out to an area of town that's called Baderville, and it's kind of on the outskirts of town. And the reason I'm going out there is they have this place called the Flagstaff Eco Ranch, where they kind of advocate for sustainable living, sustainable lifestyle kind of things. They raise animals, and they raise or grow different kinds of things. It's a really cold area of town, and so I'm really interested to find out how they're successful with growing things in that part of town, because from what I understand, Baderville has a 30-day growing season, so I'm guessing they use season extenders when they plant things. So I am taking a class at the university here in town. It's called Sustainable Botany, and it's basically a fancy term for gardening, and I'm an avid gardener, so I thought this would be an interesting trip. For the class, we're required to do 6 hours of volunteer work in some kind of botany related place, and so I figured that it would be great to go out to the Eco Ranch. Today I'm going to go out there for 3 hours, and then I'm going to go another 3 hours next week. So if I have a chance, hopefully I'll have a chance to video when I'm out there, so I can show you a little bit about what it looks like and also what I'm doing in my volunteer work. So I hope that you will join me. Well, I thought I would just show you a little bit about my drive through town on the way out to the Eco Ranch. This is the main drive, one of the main drives through Flagstaff. I'm on a street called Milton, and as you can see, this is kind of what people see when they very first come to Flagstaff. They drive in and see this big, beautiful mountain in the distance, and it's just, like I've always said, it's just this beautiful backdrop for where we live. So we're at a point right now where we're going past Northern Arizona University, one of the entrances to the university, and then we're going to be turning onto Route 66 up here in a little bit, and then heading out in the direction of Baderville. So I'm going to show you another view as we get a little bit closer to the ranch. So I'm right beside the downtown area on a street called Humphreys, and I just had to show you this because this is such a beautiful area. Over here we have what is called Wheeler Park, and we have a lot of festivals that happen there. And then there's a lot of buildings that look like this old rock building. This is the American Legion building, and just a lot of old buildings like that. Most of them are used for business at this point, but I think a lot of the buildings in this area are zoned for residential as well as for business. But what I love about this is there's so many deciduous trees, and of course this time of year everything is so green and lush and beautiful, which was different from just a month ago. So we're getting closer to Baderville. You can kind of see at the end of this road, close the window here, where things are, where it's kind of opening up beyond the trees. And up here to the right is the road that goes up to the Snowbowl ski area. And so that's called Snowbowl Road. So once we get up here just a little bit farther, you're going to see that it opens up, and it's very rural out here. A lot of people have animals, goats, chickens, things like that out in this area. It just sort of reminds me of being out on the prairie or something. I actually really like this area out here, and so does my husband, and we'd probably think about getting a house out here if it wasn't for the fact that it tends to be quite a bit colder than the main Flagstaff area, and Flagstaff is cold enough for me. So, and also because I love to garden, this is a difficult place to do gardening because it's got such a short growing season. But I guess today I'm going to find out some things that can be done in cold areas so that you can be successful. Looks like they're doing some road construction up here. Oh, it looks like they're widening the road actually. I'm almost to the ranch. I think it's just right up ahead, but this view of the peaks was just stunning, so I had to stop and film it. Isn't this just a beautiful area out here? Love it. Okay, on to the ranch. So this is the Eco Ranch, and my job on the first day was to help paint that addition to the chicken coop. That's the house of the people who own the ranch. There are the chickens. They were being really noisy that day, I think, because we were messing with their coop. Some of them you might see in a future clip. They have some of their feathers kind of ripped out, and apparently they got several of these chickens recently from somebody who had too many, and they were in kind of a crowded space, and so chickens will pick at each other. And so now with fewer chickens in this coop and chicken yard, they have more space, so they are happier. And then here are those beautiful peaks in the background, and in the foreground you can see some of the garden beds. They do have to cover the garden beds at night because it still gets really cold at night out in Baderville. There are the chickens again. There's one that has kind of its tail feathers ripped out, but they should grow their feathers back with time. They really like this newly built shaded area outside. So these are the beds up a little bit closer. You can see the hoops, and they cover the beds every night by throwing these plastic sheets over the tops of the hoops. And then those black jugs are just like milk jugs that are filled with water and painted black. They absorb heat during the day and then radiate the heat out at night when they're covered, and that helps to keep the plants warmer. And that's where they collect rainwater, so they can use that to water some of the gardens. There's the chicken yard. And then you can see just how long these garden beds are. They're growing leafy greens and root vegetables, corn, squash, all kinds of stuff. Some of the beds are for them, the people who own the place. Some of the beds are for Hermosa Vida, which is an organization where they provide fresh, locally grown produce to families who might not otherwise be able to afford it. This was the second day I was there, and we had harvested 30 pounds of leafy greens and also quite a few radishes. So I have just finished up my morning at the Flagstaff Eco Ranch. I was there for about 3 hours today, and it was a lot of fun. I'm really hot and sweaty right now because things heat up pretty good around here in the summer months. So today I helped paint a shelter for the chickens, and next week when I come back, I'm going to be helping with a harvest that they're doing for an organization called Hermosa Vida, which I will tell more about once I make my final thing for this video. So I'll add in some information about that. But anyway, it was a great day. They have a great operation going there, and I'm excited to go back next week. So they're open for tours, and you know, people can come and do visits, and they offer even classes and things like that. So it's got a lot of really cool things open and available for the community, and stuff that's being done for the community. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed coming with me on that today. Well, as you can see, I'm home and cleaned up for my second day at the Eco Ranch, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about Hermosa Vida. the Eco Ranch provides fresh local produce for this organization, and the purpose of the organization is to provide local fresh produce for families who might not normally be able to afford it. They take the produce over to a local elementary school, and then families come over and they purchase the things that were harvested that day for a price that they can afford and wouldn't normally have been able to afford if they went to a grocery store or some other place. I had a really great time at the Eco Ranch. The girls who are interning there were a lot of fun to work with, and I think I'll probably go back later in the summer. It was really just, it's a great cause, and it was a lot of fun, and I really had a great time there for the last 2 Fridays that I was there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the trip with me, and I hope you'll join me in the future on my Flagstaff home. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.